Hello everyone, how's it going? Remember to hit that like and sub button, trying to get to a 2,000 subs. Yesterday, Microsoft decided to host a bloodbath where they basically cut the throats of many different studios, the biggest being Arcane Austin, which was behind Redfall, and of course Tango Gameworks, which is known for The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush. Now, I already did a story about this. This was so sudden that the freaking Redfall developers were already working on DLC for Redfall when they got the message that their studio was going to be closed. So, not exactly the most subtlety of situations. And a lot of people were definitely lamenting on the destruction of Tango Gameworks. Like, this was a studio that had banger after banger. Granted, it wasn't huge, massive successes, but they never delivered a flopped game as far as I can tell. Their catalog of games have been absolutely exceptional, from The Evil Within, which is held in regard as one of the best survival horror games of all time. Granted, it was created by the original creator of Resident Evil, but nevertheless, it is an exceptional survival horror game. Then we also have Ghostwire Tokyo, which was dated in its gameplay mechanics. It felt like a Ubisoft game, but a lot of people, especially me, loved the narrative, the characters, the presentation, and the overall design of the game was just absolutely a brilliant game. And then Hi-Fi Rush needs no, look at this. This game was praised by so many people. It was shadow dropped, and this came from a developer who's known for action horror and survival horror, and they come out with this rhythmic platformer action adventure game that's so bright and colorful, and it won numerous Game of the Year awards and was slated as one of the best games of last year. It was absolutely exceptional, painting that even if you make an incredible game that people love and sells decently well, you will still get the guillotine. I mean, there's nothing new from this year with all the job cuts that have been happening, but nevertheless, even now it's just even more devastating, and it's just going to get worse because Hellblade Senua's Saga is supposed to come out this month, and I haven't seen any marketing material for this. Granted, the first game was self-published by Ninja Theory, and it was an absolute incredible game. I loved it, a lot of other people loved it, and people are worried that this is going to happen again. This game could be massively successful, and then suddenly Ninja Theory gets the guillotine. What about Double Fine if they decide to make a Psychonauts 3? Guillotine, because look at what happened to Hi-Fi Rush's developer. And again, this is a studio that never developed a flop. These games all did well in their own regard. But even then, it just gets even worse because Microsoft decided to pour salt, the entire bucket of salt, into this fresh wound. So this is a recent interview from The Verge. They got a hands on an internal email, and Microsoft says it needs more games like Hi-Fi Rush the day after it killed its studio. So this came from an internal memo from Matt Booty, who is the head of Xbox Game Studios. We need smaller games that give us prestige and rewards, Booty told employees according to internal remarks shared with The Verge. So, yeah, great situation. And it just gets even worse because it seems Jason Schreier has gotten a lot of information stating that Microsoft is planning to make even more cuts. So, dear freaking Christ almighty, I don't know what else they're going to cut, but you can guarantee they already got out one of the kidneys and several parts of the intestines. I don't know what else they're going to take out of the freaking Xbox division. And it seems they're also going to pass off some of that issues with finances to the consumer because they're planning to raise the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate again. Now, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate launched at $14.99 a month. If I'm remembering that wrong, tell me, but I believe it was $14.99 a month, and now it's $17 a month. So absolutely ridiculous. What are they going to do? Raise it to $20 a month? I mean, dear God, we're already living in a recession where people can barely afford food. You're going to raise the price again? And this was 10 months ago. Freaking hell, what the hell is going on here? And I get what they're trying to do here. They already spent $7.5 billion buying Bethesda, and they spent reportedly $75 billion buying Activision Blizzard. Granted, Call of Duty prints money. Even the worst Call of Duty game of all time, I would consider Vanguard, sold 30 million copies. Yeah, I will take this to my grave. Worst Call of Duty game I've ever played in my life. I played the game on veteran difficulty. I got almost all the achievements. It was a trash game. Like, dear God. And yeah, a lot of people are hoping that the Game Pass service would bring all the Call of Duty games to Microsoft's platform, considering that these games still sell for $60. I mean, Black Ops 3 came out in 2015 and they're still selling it for $60. Dear freaking Christ. But the way I see this, and tell me if you disagree with this, is that I feel like Microsoft overbought. They overstretched their company and they simply cannot manage all these studios all at once. They can't do it because they're all under the Xbox umbrella, and they, even though they have a hands-off approach on these companies, they still have to manage them. They're still responsible for all these people, so they have to hire managers, and they have them managers of those managers. If you've ever worked in a, I don't know, a traditional desk job like I have, you probably are familiar with red tape and bureaucracy, and it seems that this is what's happening. I feel like they've just simply bought too many people, and they simply don't have the people to handle all of this, to just simply synergize everything and make sure it runs effectively. Granted, they could just let the studios work on their own stuff, and if they don't do well, do what is needed. Like in Redfall's case, I can almost understand where they were coming from, but again, that wasn't Microsoft's fault in extent, because Redfall was in development before they purchased Bethesda, and they were hoping that they would have canceled the game, but I guess they just wanted to cut their losses and release the game and see what they can get out of it. But in this case, I genuinely think it's that they just overbought and they simply cannot manage all these people and all these studios, and they're trying to condense them into a much more efficient system that they can just, look in one direction instead of having like an entire 360. But nevertheless, you bought these studios. You are responsible for them. You are responsible for these people. It's not like that stupid asshole, that Blizzard executive, Mike Ybarra, who stated like, oh, I feel sorry for Phil Spencer. Dude, a lot of people just lost their jobs, livelihoods in a marketplace where getting a new job is next to impossible because everyone is losing their jobs in the tech industry right now. And in this situation, like I stated earlier in this video, the people behind Redfall were literally working on DLC hours before their studio got destroyed. So, yeah, so it seems that all of this is just going to get worse before it gets better. And I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future of this company, because right now, I can only imagine that morale is at an all-time low, that anyone is afraid that their jobs are about to be cut, and that's it for them. So tell me what you think in the comments below about all of this. I think that this was absolutely tragic. Like, buying all these studios only to destroy their entire legacy in a matter of hours, it's absolutely abhorrent. And yeah, I guess this is what things are happening right now in the AAA market. It's not enough that you make creative, incredible games that sell decent amount and do a great job. You need to sell Call of Duty level numbers in order to just live on. And even then, this just becomes a creatively bankrupt journey where innovation is stifled and nothing else can thrive. We're not going to get games like Hi-Fi Rush. We're going to get games like Call of Duty 26 that just recycles the same formula over and over and tries to sell it to us again, and people like me buy it. Or in a case like Madden or FIFA, same principle applies there. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Like, dislike, your choice. I'm so depressed that Evil Within 3 is never coming.